seltzer became popular, and then the apocalypse happened.
Why is that weird?
I'm just saying, seltzer might have had something to do with all this.
Oh boy.
Because it was like seltzer, coronavirus. You know, like.
I was thinking about the same thing with Soup Plantation. Soup Plantation closed, and then we had race riots. So I don't know,
bad
man.
Name
Soup.
for a restaurant. Plantation.
The soup freed itself.
Yeah. Right. Now it's just an old plantation. You're talking to Elise Joseph?
I was talking about Elise Joseph about these issues because she's studied pretty in depth about the history of slavery and that kind of stuff. Part of her college experience, and she was telling me about how you know why lynching black people became a thing, because we freed the slaves, so black people no longer had any value to white people. Because before they were lynching black freed slaves, black people, they were lynching white people who were abolitionists. So all this aggression towards the black community is very much like based in this historic precedent of no longer having control over black people, which is why it's so dangerous to like tell them, oh, you shouldn't protest like this.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, so you're still flexing whatever white muscles you have in orchestrating power over a community.
That makes sense. So all of the efforts put into policing black communities are just a vestige, like left over from slavery, kind of.
Right. Well, or
a lot of what it is,
right.
I guess.
Yeah. You're correct.
You know what I mean?
You're correct. And if you think about it, like in the South specifically, not so much in the West, but in the South, the police systems were built to catch slaves, to catch runaway slaves. They just transferred over. So a lot of the systems are still very much made to dominate.
Yeah, and then also, I mean, after slavery was abolished, they had chain gangs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was literally the same shit.
The 13th...
Try to give them excuses to do the same shit they were doing before they abolished it.
You're absolutely correct.
Hey, a lot of good music came out of those chain gangs.
Oh, I didn't realize you were part of this. That's cool.
No, it's fine. I thought.
Yeah, we could do that. I forgot about that. We haven't done these in so long that I honestly forgot how we did them. Like. Guys, if you're just joining us, we didn't actually introduce.
Hey, everybody.
That was a nice introductory conversation to but
this is please send help for ourselves, but also for our collapsing nation.
That's right. We wanted to show you guys we're here and we know what's happening, and we support Black Lives, and
we're just gonna talk about issues, and I don't know. We'll let it go we'll let it flow as it usually does.
Yeah, exactly. Try to inject some humor in it, if we can.
Before we jumped on, we were discussing the issues of police brutality. Obviously, that's a central issue to the fights.
Oh yeah,
that's the whole issue. That's
it's all systemic.
Yeah. No, it's
part of a broader thing.
If you look at the history of our Constitution, specifically the 13th Amendment. The 13th Amendment, signed into law in 1865, it abolishes slavery, but it also exists as a loophole for slavery.
Yeah.
The way it's written in such a way that I don't remember the exact wording on it, but basically it says that slavery shall not exist except as a form of punishment for a prisoner. And they have to follow the correct laws, but that never fucking works.
Yeah, that's why there's an endless pipeline,
Right.
They try to find dumb reasons to put black people in prison.
Yeah.
There is a fucking leaf blower outside, and I apologize to our audience at this point. Let's get him in here. What does he have to say? Wouldn't that be funny? He's like, well, actually,
Black Lives Matter, guys. But let me clean up this.
Leaf blower lives matter.
But his leaf blower is still on, so he's blowing in our fucking faces. He's blowing the table. No.
Speaking
covered
of
in leaves.
It's like screaming.
Speaking of political issues, those leaf blowers are technically illegal, so he shouldn't even be really using one.
Stop it! Stop it!
No, it's true.
Are leaf blowers illegal?
Yeah,
What's
they're
happening?
illegal.
That's not true, Daryl.
Look it up. Look it up.
But you can buy one.
You can't use them in the state of California.
Wow.
Leaf
that's
blower,
incredible.
But they
Leaf
don't.
blower.
They don't harp on it because racial issue.
Is that?
What do you mean a racial
Oh
issue?
man,
Daryl?
what has this podcast turned into already? What's
no,
happening?
but like, what is the for?
Because a large majority of people that use leaf blowers are
Hispanic.
undocumented Hispanic workers.
Are you sure
right.
that's what it is? I don't know. That sounds like a racist fucking lie. For some
Obviously, they also hate rakes more. You know. But those are more of an environmental hazard than your car or any type of vehicle. Hell yeah, it's just fucking two-stroke oil getting like blown up into the air, plus all those particulates that are like the dust and everything.
I didn't even think about that. Dang,
It's
Daryl
getting-
is the woke one here. Daryl.
I mean, that's definitely like way worse than like half the cars out there in the world.
Wow.
Didn't
That's
know
crazy.
that.
I had no idea.
But nobody
I
wants
don't
to care.
I
because
also
it's-
don't know if it's like whatever. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. It's whatever. People,
Yeah.
people go like, I don't care. You know.
Yeah, that's not really an important issue in the issue of race relations.
I know.
Right.
In fact, it kind of seems like it's like
But
taking
it is
away
noise
their
pollution.
livelihood just by saying like, "Hey, fuck you for using that." You know,
Yeah.
because they're not doing that for no reason. They're not like just you know what I mean. Like
No,
they
but
get
you're
paid
saying-
by gardening companies
Yeah.
and shit. Like you
But
know, like
environment, like the EPA puts in place a lot of things where they're like, hey, yeah, it would be easier if you could just dump it into your nuclear sewage into the ocean, but we don't want that shit.
Right,
So we're
that's-
going to make it harder for you to do that.
Well, that's why
Like,
regulations exist. I mean,
they're putting in a regulation, but we don't care about it because
well, I mean, our problem is that our government is far too complicated and there's so much bureaucracy.
right.
I mean, the EPA. People shit on Trump for getting at the EPA, but they don't really do much. They don't really. They're
No.
all corporate owned,
yeah,
anyways.
they're killing whales. They don't care.
We need legitimate climate change addressing, and neither the Democrats nor the Republicans have done very much about it.
okay, I will say this. So Trump has relaxed restrictions
Right.
on public parks.
Yeah,
Right?
Which is awful.
And ever since he's done that, there's been way more litter.
yeah,
They've
you're
been
right.
way more fucked up.
You're
So
correct.
I will actually contest your point.
No,
you know?
no,
Like,
no, no,
yeah.
no.
Okay.
I'm saying that yes, what Trump has done is awful in relaxing his regulations. He's destroyed communities, but
Yeah.
the Democrats are bound by the same corporate powers that he is, and they were doing something. So I'll give them that. They were doing
That's
something.
what I'm
but,
saying.
But we should still acknowledge that they weren't doing nearly enough. Nancy Pelosi is still just as much of an enemy of the American people as is any Republican, as far as I'm concerned.
I don't think it's good to paint them with a broad brush like that, though.
well, then we can't paint the Republicans and Trump with
No,
the broad
the thing
brush
is that like I made a point that had material consequences, and if Trump wasn't in power, that wouldn't have happened. So I don't think you should say
I'm not saying that Trump
that
is.
Pelosi.
I'm not
you know
trying.
what I mean?
I'm not
Like,
saying
yeah.
Trump is worse than the Democrats.
Uh-huh.
We have an orange that is rotten and on fire, and then we have an orange that's rotten. I'd rather eat the orange that's rotten than the orange that's on fire, but I would still rather not have a rotten orange.
Wait,
For
is
sure.
the orange is Trump?
There's two oranges.
You know what? That was a confusing metaphor.
There's two fruits.
Which
Well,
one?
I knew what he was doing, but I can see how that would be confusing because
I'm sorry.
he said orange, and we always think of orange.
I
as
know.
Donald
I'm
Trump.
sorry. I'm
The
sorry.
Pelosi is a banana in this scenario.
That's fair. Pelosi is a rotten banana, and Trump is an orange that's on fire. I don't rotten fruit. However, I would prefer the rotten fruit that isn't on fire. That's my position.
Yeah, I get you. But
Bananas
yeah.
Foster's, though. So good. So good.
Fosters? What?
Yeah, that's where you get bananas and then you creme brulee it on top. You know, put a little like flame on it.
That sounds amazing. I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
No, I like
sounds
the,
really good.
Yeah, no, I've heard of it. I didn't think it was real. I thought
No,
that it
it's
was
real.
a myth.
You thought it was
I thought
a
it was-
myth?
I don't know. It seemed too
The
fantastic. It
Yeah.
seemed too fantastic to have fire that's food that's on fire.
But
I don't know.
but also it just seems like a weird thing for someone to just come up with food stories
I don't know,
all the time.
man. I've
you know,
heard of it. Like I don't know. I don't believe in a lot of.
There's
foods.
like one
Yeah.
guy that comes up with a bunch of food myths. Like what? Bananas Foster's, bro. It's so good. Everyone around him's like, we don't know what the fuck you're talking about. That doesn't exist.
You're full of shit. You're a filthy liar. I've been watching Food Network 24 hours a day and haven't had that come up once.
Conspiracy, bro. I don't know.
It's like, tell me again how fudge pie exists. I know it doesn't, you
Right.
fucking dick. Like,
There's a lot of fruit pies that don't exist. Plum pie does not exist.
Yeah.
See, there you go.
I think
That's
pie,
a myth. That's a food myth.
I was trying to talk about this the other day too. Like if a pie was made out of a papaya,
Yes.
Oh,
it would be called
yeah,
it would
I
be
agree
called,
with that.
It would
That
be
was-
called a pie-paya.
Yeah.
I
a
thought that was funny.
pie-
I don't know.
I liked it.
No, it's papaya.
Pie,
Papaya.
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 Yeah.
Yeah. You'd be like, stop stuttering. No, it's a papaya.
You start flying.
Yeah. I feel like
Mario.
Elevating into the fucking sky.
do they have coconut cream pie, but they don't have coconut regular pie. You can't get just coconut fruit. Is it a fruit? I feel
Coconut
like
is
it
coconut fruit.
I don't know. I've also heard that
I
it's
thought fruits have seeds and
Coconuts
coconuts
have a pit,
and they have
but the pit is water.
and they have milk and hair.
right. So,
So I
is
don't
it, I
know.
think it's more of a vegetable or
A mammal.
yeah, it's a mammal. Coconuts are mammals.
That's true. You ever heard of coconut breathe?
No?
You haven't?
Is that? It sounds
Is
like a
it
shampoo.
thing?
A coconut breed?
Mammals breathe.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I
they
was being
breathe.
dumb.
Okay.
I thought you said breathe, like they.
I said breathe.
Breathe. Like,
like
have
they
you ever
take
heard
in
a coconut breathe? Like, take
Yeah.
a breath.
Mm-mm.
Coconuts can't breathe. They
It's
don't
like
have
when you
mouths.
put your ear to a conch shell,
Right.
because conches breathe.
Conches.
Conches are mammals too.
I feel like it would be like a.
Why does everyone believe me right now? Stop it!
Speaking some truth here, man. I don't know.
It's like you're looking at me like you're so serious about the dumbest thing I said.
I feel like if a coconut breathed, it'd sound like, oh, yeah.
It's like the fucking Kool-Aid man.
Yeah, it's just like, he's so cool. He's just like.
Coconut Man is a distant cousin of the Kool-Aid man.
It would sound like, you know what it would sound like if a coconut breathed? Under the sea. That's what it would sound like.
Yep.
You know how I know? Because a conch sounds like that when it breathes. Every time I listen to a conch shell, it sounds like that.
Did you say a conch shell or a cunt shell?
Conch.
Okay, because I keep
Why
hearing
would you say
cunt.
that about my mom? I don't know.
Yeah. What a cunt shell.
I listen to your mom's pussy.
Oh.
Can you hear the ocean?
I'm uncomfortable now.
It's
That's
just.
a weird insult. I listened to your mom's pussy last night. You just listened to it? That's
said
it?
you wouldn't amount to anything. It whispered it though.
You'll never amount to anything. It's like that.
And then it
And then I
queefed
licked it.
in my face.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
I was with a girl once.
I was just
she
gonna-
farted in my. Okay.
I thought you were gonna say like, my mom queefed once.
She farted in my face. I felt bad because she was really embarrassed.
Well,
Oh,
obviously.
she didn't mean to do it?
No, she. I like.
I would have given her credit if she was like, yeah,
I
take
like,
that.
I like bent down to pick something up off the floor, and she was hanging off the side of the bed, and it just happened to be at that moment.
Right.
Just perfect timing. Actually, it doesn't. It might not have been an accident. Now that I think about it,
Did you like it?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was great.
Did you comment
She
on
won't
it?
do it again though. I don't know.
Did you say something or laugh? Or?
No, well, I was like, don't worry about it, because she
And
was
she's
so
like,
nervous.
about what? What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
I didn't hear it. She was deaf. She didn't hear it.
Yeah.
Just lets them go.
So when you say that she told you she was embarrassed, she did that in sign language?
Yeah,
She was like,
she was signing
yeah,
that she was
signing
deaf.
that.
It was Helen Keller, guys. I don't know.
What is the sign language for fart? Like or something like that. I mean, obviously,
I don't know.
for the podcast, it's not going to help. But
Yeah, that's.
do they have sign
Can you
language
make fart
podcasts?
noises right now? Can you edit those in?
Yeah,
Called a signcast.
yeah.
Yeah.
Guy, it would just be you just hear silence for 2 hours, but you just hear kind of like a.
It would be. Would they know the signs just by hearing how
Maybe.
they're doing the signs?
But they obviously can't
Crazy.
hear.
Yeah. Wait, never mind. Wow. Have you ever wondered how smart Andrew Mercado was?
That's funny.
That's amazing. Well, it would be a visual podcast because
Yeah.
podcasts are recorded, visually too.
Clearly.
There's videos. Yeah.
Yeah. A sign language podcast? The Sign. That's what we'll call it.
I wish I could talk like a sign language person.
Why?
What does that mean?
Because, when you say a phrase like, I'm going to the beach today, when they sign language it, or when somebody signs that phrase, it's just, I go beach. It's not, I go to the beach. There's no sign for the or to. There's no filler words.
That's
it's
what you're
just
saying.
the words, and that's
Why-
what I want to
right.
do. But if you talk like that, you're sounding like an idiot.
Why-
Like,
Yeah.
I go do beach today. Like,
Why say many words when few words do trick?
right, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to get to that, and I think that texting and emojis kind of like get us there a little bit.
But the problem is that every word that's created expresses a different aspect of the human experience.
Sure.
Right? So I think that we should work on creating new words, not mushing other words together, because then experiences become singular. So if I have a word for happy and then the opposite of happy is sad, if I erase the word for sad, that I only have happy and then not happy. Right? So that creates a weird paradigm.
That's what's interesting if you look like linguistically at how different languages express different emotions, because there are some languages that express emotions that we're not even aware of. Technically. It's fascinating.
German has
exactly.
a lot of words that we don't necessarily. They express avenues of the human experience that we don't have words for in English.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And I think every language has something where it can only be expressed accurately in that language. You know what I mean?
right.
Which is interesting. Yeah.
Like, it is weird how certain languages will have like a certain word for like a whole phrase. Where like
Yeah.
in English, it's like that feeling you have right after you get off the toilet, and then in German they'll be like, "Oh yeah, that just is like schlabberlu." And you're like, "There's a word for that whole feeling,
like-
just that specific feeling."
Yeah.
Like,
Or like Schadenfreude. That's a literary
Right.
term.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
Schadenfreude. That
Right.
feeling getting pleasure from somebody else's pain.
Uh-huh.
Right? That's
Right.
such a specific emotion that we don't have a word for.
I thought it was the opposite of like regular Freud. Like there's Sigmund Freud and there's Schadenfreude.
His evil twin brother.
It's evil Sigmund Freud.
Negus Sigmund.
he's like, "Yeah, your mom left you. How does that make you feel? Tell me all about it."
What's my name? Schadenfreude. And then he like disappears. He throws like a ball and it puffs into smoke. And then he disappears like
He has a cape.
Yeah, he's all like
he's shaved because Sigmund Freud has a goatee, right? So
Yep.
he's shaved.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
That would be awesome. He just makes people feel worse after like therapy.
So what do you think? Defund or reform?
Oh, definitely.
What do you
defund.
think?
Definitely defund.
Definitely defund.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you?
I think that we need to deconstruct our police system and rebuild it without the racist roots of some.
Okay,
police.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that we need. I think that we just need to start over. I don't necessarily
Because
think that we
defund
need,
means something different for everyone. That's why I thought I
you're
would
right.
ask.
You're correct. Because some people mean that we shouldn't have a police force at all, and I don't
Yeah.
necessarily think that's correct.
Uh,
I think that.
Yeah, I mean, once you get robbed, you'll have a different feeling.
Yeah, exactly. Or if you
well,
need,
it's just like it could be something violent, like if
Yeah.
there's like a mass shooter.
Yes.
we need people who are willing to go in.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the thing. I don't think people realize. I hate that, like, even implicitly, when you are saying a specific crime, you kind of have an idea of who you're thinking about, which is fucked up. You know what I mean? Right. But if you say, like, it's like there are certain crimes that you say where it's like, dude, if you think about it, like, white people are the biggest terrorists in our fucking nation. Mass shooters, they kill so many fucking people. You know what I mean? And it's like, and I feel like that's part of white supremacy too. What people get, like, when they think of a crime, they don't think of white people for some reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
even though,
well, the idea in our head, the central image of what an American is in our culture is white.
That's what I mean,
right? So anything else other than that is the other.
Yeah.
So we don't see white people as the enemy. When I don't necessarily think we should see him as the enemy, obviously, entirely, but we should acknowledge that white supremacy exists.
White supremacy is the enemy.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes people pigeonhole
type of supremacy is wrong.
Yeah, but white supremacy is the problem right now. You're saying all lives matter.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You have to realize what you're doing, dude. Like,
no, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to acknowledge that the police shooting people is not just a black problem. It's also a white and brown and other races problem, but primarily it's a black problem.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. We should defund and re-establish our police systems, not just for black people, but for all of us.
Yeah. Did you hear about Camden? You know what I'm talking about?
Maybe.
So there's a city in New Jersey named Camden, and that's kind of what they did. They completely disbanded their police force.
Yeah.
They fired everyone in that police force. They rehired everybody, and then they started training from the ground up that was community centered,
which is great,
which is
beautiful.
And the homicides have gone way down.
I believe
crime's gone way down.
Yeah.
It's cool.
If you're like, okay, if you have a job and then everybody in your job where you work is willing to pass somebody else through who's willing to shoot somebody else, you should definitely really, really look into the kinds of people that it would exist in that kind of situation, right?
Yeah.
The kind of violent people who are prone to a job like the police force. Because there are definitely a lot of cops who are good people. Like, I have friends who are cops that aren't bad, but if you're a good cop who is allowing racists to live in your culture, you're a bad cop.
That's the thing, though. That's the thing that's so slippery about right now.
What were you going to say, Daryl?
I was going to kind of say, I only have bad cops as friends. Only bad ones.
Well, it's the culture of the policeman culture is so fucked up because they'll protect anyone.
You're right.
No matter what happens
with
any one of their own, they're going to protect them, even if they did the most fucked up shit. And that's the thing is that they're all complicit in a way if they're all protecting that one person. Like the Buffalo police force, that was like a huge example.
Yeah.
When they pushed that old man to the floor, and not one of them stood up and like against him. You know what I mean?
Because they're so bound to this code of being a cop.
The code is the problem. It's the system is the problem.
And part of it is that you're right. It's the code. And part of it is that we push cops to being an other in our society, so they separate themselves, so they don't necessarily always have the same connective tissue to being with the rest of us, because they act as watchdogs for society, and that's a really dangerous thing.
Yeah, it is.
You have to be in the community, or else you won't be able to actively police the community. So that's a huge. I mean, the whole fucking thing is fucked.
Yeah,
it's.
Would you be in favor of something what Israel does, where everybody has to join the military for like 2 years, but instead of the military, you have to be a cop for like 2 years?
Oh boy, that's
and then
interesting.
Once you've been, obviously, if you look on the other side, or if you're being on the other side, maybe you'll have a different view once you're on both sides of the issue.
I'm against being told what to do in any way. However, that is really interesting. I really think that's it's an interesting, because I'm trying to figure out, like, so that means that you're bound to this community, right? Because maybe you're a cop in your community.
It doesn't. Yeah, you don't have to necessarily like go become like a South Central PD officer.
Yeah.
You could probably be a cop in any type of capacity.
Yeah.
Maybe go be a detective, or if you have more, educational skills, you can do other things besides just becoming a beat cop.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, it's the same thing with like restaurant service or any type of like food service or service industry in general, is that once you become a server or once you work in a retail establishment or something, you treat those workers a lot kinder once you've been that worker.
You're right. I agree.
That's a good point.
Interesting. That is interesting. Huh? I hadn't considered that. Is that something you heard, or is that something you came up with?
I was just thinking about it because I've heard obviously of other countries and other things like implementing this type of like you got to go do this service work before like you can work in the private sector or whatever.
For maybe like 16 to 18 you have to like serve, and then after that it's your choice.
Right.
That's interesting.
I wonder how that works. I wonder what the results of that were. I'm curious.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I don't know what the crime stats are in Israel. It's
probably very low,
but traditionally, obviously, it's definitely a very turmoil-ridden country.
Yeah, well, I mean, they have a lot of beef. Let's say
a lot of people don't think they're a country.
Pakistan
Some people do.
Palestinians. Yeah.
Wow. Did I say Pakistan?
Yeah, it's okay.
So, I mean, they're definitely fighting for their country in a different way than, I guess, the average person here is.
Yeah.
I
mean, they're also they're a much smaller country than
Clearly.
ours. So I think part of the issue too is our size. I think when you have a country our size, it's difficult for the citizens to connect with each other. Like I can't understand somebody else's problems in Kentucky. That's just so they're so out of my world. And they might have legitimate issues, but I don't know. I also have the theory that maybe we should just break down countries that are certain sizes. Like you guys can't be this big. You gotta get small, like a corporation.
Consolidate some states.
Well, I mean, I think that's one of the reasons we broke everything down to states.
Right.
But at the same time, how's that working out for us? I don't know.
I don't know.
Obviously, but when it comes to like geographically with politically and stuff, they definitely go like, okay, southern states, this side, like the west, east. They definitely like just put everybody in groups already. Like they don't.
Yeah.
Or it is really just blue and red.
Right. I don't know. I have more love for California right now than the rest. I definitely am happy that I'm living here in a lot of ways.
As long as I mean, the only thing that I hate about California is that like it's expensive.
Yeah.
It is
very expensive for sure.
I hate that shit.
Definitely. But I mean, I will shit on Gavin Newsom all day, every day. But he did a good job with the coronavirus response, more so than many other governors
so far.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it could get worse.
We don't know anything.
But he's been pretty smart about it compared to the other states, I think. So that's cool. I mean, it's good for him.
I don't know. This whole, I mean, it's such a tenuous situation. We really don't know what's going to happen from one moment to the next. It could get worse. It could get better. It is getting better currently, but there are cases that are popping up. There are upticks in certain states that didn't have upticks before.
Yeah.
So who knows? India's getting worse right now, a lot worse, and so is Russia.
Yeah, it is Russia
and Brazil. That's the big one.
Well, we're definitely at like a cultural intersection. Like a lot of things are changing. A lot of empires are going through their own molding system. I was reading about something recently called the Axial Period. The Axial Period was a period between 8 BCE and 3 BCE, and basically it
5
was
years?
No. So 8. You
said 8 BC to 3 BC.
No. That's about. Sorry, 800 BCE, I guess, to 300 BCE.
Oh,
yeah.
All right, that's a big difference.
Yeah. Sorry,
Axl Rose, AC/DC.
Yeah.
And basically, it was the period in which, like, all of the roots for Buddhism, Confucianism, the Greek philosophers, Christianity, all these different religions the roots were founded, and that was right before the collapse of the Late Bronze Age, which basically led to the collapse of like every major empire around the Mediterranean Sea, like Troy and like Gaza. So it left this huge gap in the world. So a couple centuries later, it made the pathway ready for a bunch of new ideas and new philosophies and new ways of living that led to religions that we now have.
You think we're in a period like that?
I mean, we could be in a collapse. I mean, societies they revolve around a certain cycle.
We're gonna have a
right,
like a Scientology renaissance or something. Or,
I mean,
Sweet.
we could.
Xenu's coming back, guys. He's gonna make all this better.
People shit on Scientology a lot, but Scientology follows very much the models of all older religions. They were very cultish. In
Well,
the
clearly,
beginning.
he stole it from all the others.
Yeah, you're right.
the difference is flying saucers. I think
Yeah,
that's the big
aliens.
difference.
Yeah, no,
exactly.
I know, but I'm just saying we don't know necessarily what's going to happen in 500 years. They
I
could
think-
have a huge
Well,
following.
Mormons had aliens too, so
I got it. I make it sound like it's bullshit, but like obviously aliens exist, but it's just like the way that they
but
bring
are
it
they
up. You know
God?
what I mean?
it
It's
is
like
it's a ridiculous,
it's ridiculous.
religion.
Yeah,
but-
exactly. Like,
yeah. But are aliens gods?
nah,
They would be if they did come to Earth. I bet they would be considered gods.
I bet it would be something like that film Arrival. You guys seen Arrival?
Oh, I
Yeah,
love Arrival.
yeah.
It's one of my
Arrival's
favorite
amazing.
movies.
It's very,
I
very
love that
good.
movie. Yeah.
Very good, very
the
good.
way that that they communicated and the way that they existed was much different than what we would see as another living being.
You're right.
Because the thing is, we usually personify
it was
everything
like
around
those
us,
ink
right?
circles or
We
whatever.
anthropomorphize things.
Right.
We make things like ourselves.
Right.
So the first time we thought of an alien, we're like, oh, they look like they have 2 arms.
Right.
They have 2 legs.
Yeah.
Right.
They have a head.
like Star Trek aliens.
Exactly.
Right,
And this is
right.
the first time you see in film where it's like, no, they're nothing like that at all.
Yeah.
They're these big oblong. What were they? They're like an
They're
oblong.
octopus.
They're
type
octopus.
things. They had a bunch of arms, and there was like a cephalopod.
That's
thing.
Right.
right.
It
Yeah.
It was weird. Yeah.
And the
They're
way they
like, yeah.
communicated, where they were like symbols.
Yeah.
Right,
They would
Yeah.
shoot out like these circle blots, like an ink blot or whatever.
Yeah. And then at some point they realized that that's the circle of time.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Because
it's a
their
So good.
their
Yeah.
world is all like circle, or they're like living all moments at once.
Right.
Like it's like you're not living in the past, present, and future. It's like all those at the same time.
Yeah, it's a lot like Doctor Who. How do you know Doctor
Yeah.
Who? Like, because the Gallifreyans, they communicate in basically
Yes.
like circle clock images.
Right.
Very.
He was
very
on
similar.
third.
What?
Who was on third?
No, who was on second? Who
What?
was the second?
No, let's not do that.
I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't know the bit.
No, you don't know that.
Oh,
bit?
is it the Who's on third
Yeah,
first?
that's that
okay.
stupid
Okay.
Doctor Who's on third? No one's ever said that.
Okay. So talking about race
That's
issues.
like a Comic-Con joke. Doctor Who's on
It
there.
is a Comic-Con joke. Yeah.
Talking about race issues. Abbott and Costello, I think, were the first ones who made that bit famous.
That's
but
what it
they
was.
stole that bit from black comedians and black clubs.
I didn't know that.
A lot of the early comics, like Jerry
Oh,
Lewis, would go to black clubs and steal acts.
I believe it.
All the
Jerry
famous
Lewis was a
vaudeville
piece of
and
shit.
stuff, like anything prior to 1950, I mean, it was stolen. It was just
Yeah.
everything was common law, like just like it's just a joke you can use. Like
The problem is that they were making millions off of it. Or,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not millions,
But everybody
a
was-
lot of money in there.
everybody was using the same act. It was like, oh, that joke was being used in that club, this club, this club, this club by 5 different acts. It was just like a.
Right.
But obviously, was it plagiarized? Hell yeah, it was.
Right. The issue is that it follows a pattern of white people stealing black art, and I get what
Yeah,
you're saying
'cause
because
it's,
you're right. If they used to just take bits, they would just take them, but it follow like every single art form that black people have made, white people steal it. And
Yeah,
make it their own.
jazz,
rap,
blues.
rock and roll,
Yeah.
metal.
So you're
to a
saying
certain
I
extent.
shouldn't do that bit about a baby selling weed on the corner?
Yeah. Maybe is that the Dave Chappelle bit?
No, it's my bit, damn it.
Did you do it first, Daryl? Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
definitely. I did it. Yep.
I
No.
saw. Man, that reminds me of TikTok. I know that sounds like it's not related,
Mhm.
but have you guys been on TikTok lately or no?
No,
Yes.
I'm an adult.
I'm
See,
24,
that-
so
I
yes.
want to say something. There is a misconception that TikTok is all for 16-year-old kids doing dances
Mm-hmm.
or whatever is viral. That's not true. I will. I want to squash that immediately. It's not.
33-year-old.
It has all kinds of people. It has like college professors on there dropping knowledge.
Yeah,
it's got scientists on there.
It's a very complex app.
It is. It's not like it's kind of like saying you hate comedy. You can't just hate all comedy. That's impossible. There's going to be something you like if you really get into comedy. You know, it's just a tool. That's all it is. But I was going to say that there are some people on there. And this is kind of prominent right now, and it's actually very concerning to me that they shamelessly steal material from other people on TikTok. And they will make an entire video, not even using like your clip or anything, you know, but they will like shamelessly steal material from a comedian, and then they will use it as if it was their own in their own video on TikTok.
That's wrong.
And never give them credit.
Because you can cut the audio on a video very easily and then just paste it onto something else.
I'm not saying they even do that. They do it with their own voice.
Okay.
They'll it's like direct. They're not taking the clip. I'm trying to say they're not taking the clip.
Christ.
They're literally like word for word stealing a bit.
That's scary.
Well,
that's comedy, right?
That's what internet culture is. I mean, that's what half the memes are. I mean, that's what half of the Twitter is. And I mean, everybody just rips off whatever they saw, but
it's not.
I mean, the meme is weird because a meme is nothing more than like the essence of an idea, right? And how a meme generates is somebody else takes it and then formulates their own specific perspective on it. That's why we have different meme formats with different punchlines on them. The problem is taking like an original joke that somebody wrote down, I guess, like a tweet. Like, what if I like rewrote one of your tweets and then put it? That's for me where it's
memes can be stolen jokes too, though.
Yeah,
you know?
no, you're right. You're right.
But I mean, memes. It's not. That's the same thing. It's a meme is a tool,
right?
You know, there's good memes, and there's people who are just like, you know, stolen Chappelle joke or whatever, a stolen Neil Brennan joke or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But no, there was a whole Shane Torres bit. I don't even know if you guys know who Shane Torres is.
I know who Shane Torres is.
Oh, yeah, he's really funny. He does this joke about, who's that chef? That celebrity chef?
Oh, Guy Fieri. Why does everybody hate Guy Fieri?
Yeah.
That's a good bit.
It's at this point, a lot of people know about this bit.
Yeah, it's a good bit.
So somebody took that bit and, like, they made it look like they were sitting around with friends, and then they were just like, hey, why does everyone, you know, that what Guy Fieri does for the community, and like that's how they started it. So they started it a little bit differently, but then they just
turned it into a sketch or whatever.
Yeah, they went through the whole thing from that moment. It's like, yeah, he donates, you know, the whole thing where he's like, he donates pretzel machine or whatever, and he officiates gay weddings. Yeah. The whole bit.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's poor Shane, because that's a classic bit that should be his.
Exactly.
Right. So all that money that they're getting, is he going to see any of it? No.
I was going to say that too. It was getting, I think it had like 240,000 likes.
Wow, there you
that
go.
Video at that point. Yeah, so
that's monetized at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
There's an account I see on Instagram all the time that posts. They literally just recreate scenes from Wayne's Brothers movies and like call it themselves. And I'm like, dude, I saw this on. Yeah, don't be a menace don't be a menace in society without drinking your juice in the hood.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I commented like, that's a Wayne's Brothers movie, and I got two people that are like, so, and it's like, am I the only one that like, thinks this is not right? Like, and also hack, like very like, it's not even like funny. Like, it's not even like it was funny when they did it 10 years ago.
Yeah. No, it's longer
20
than that
years
now.
ago.
Yeah, exactly.
No, more than 20 years ago. Probably the 90s. 30 years ago.
Hey, that is 30 years ago at this point. Well, if it's 1990, it is.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's like 95
I
to
think
25 years.
That's the thing. A lot of people aren't going to fact check it, and if it is something 30 years ago, nobody's going to be like, that was 30 years ago.
That makes it really scary going into a career where you literally want to write jokes. Like, that's who can anybody just steal anything we create now without thinking about it?
Yes.
Dude, I was at a mic one time, and somebody did a Sam Morril joke, start to finish.
Wow.
And I don't know if I told you guys this when it happened. It was the Royal Cup here. And I, as soon as he was done with that joke, I was like, I literally said out loud, I was like, that's a Sam Morril joke.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
And he was like, and like he admitted to it. and like he was like sheepishly admitting to it, like he was like embarrassed that he did it.
And then he
It was
later
weird.
shot himself.
Well, it's because he probably knew that it was stolen and thought nobody would know.
I guess.
So he
Yeah,
just
like-
assumed that nobody would call him out on it. But like, why would you steal a comics bit and do it at an open mic with other comics? We're the only ones who are gonna know. You know,
Right.
we're the only ones who may possibly know that.
Right.
So that's fucking stupid. When was this?
Not even, maybe 6 months ago.
Do we know the person?
We don't know this guy.
Okay.
It was maybe a year ago at this point.
Okay.
Time is like the way I interpret
Yeah,
it.
I know.
We've been away from
3
time
months
for
out
3
of-
months.
Yeah, 3 months out of our lives.
We've been away from normal time for 3 months.
Yeah.
We've stepped outside of it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's shitty. That's shitty. I've had bits stolen from me. Have you? I mean, I'm sure you guys have at least had. Bits
I haven't had
lifted.
bits stolen, but I've definitely had parallel thinking.
Yeah.
I've had comics come up to me and say like, "Hey, I have a bit that's really similar on that," and I'm like, "Yeah, well, we can have 2 bits on this."
Yeah. I mean, there can be more than one perspective. That's an issue because, like, I had parallel thinking with a comic at one point, and that comic accused me of stealing, and I'm like, no, that's not. We have similar experiences.
Yeah.
I also look very Asian. I should be able to talk about that. Just because
Right.
you also have that doesn't mean that you own that idea forever.
Yeah, Justin, you don't own that. I can talk about being Asian too.
Justin is the only one that looks Asian.
In this group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other Asians don't even look as Asian as
No,
Justin.
I'm the most Asian.
Yeah. I had a ninja. You guys, yeah, I've had a Ninja Turtle joke forever, and there was a guy from LA that came up to me and told me that he had one that was like about the same thing, and it was very similar.
Yeah.
You know what's weird? To this day, I wonder if he really did take something from that joke that I do. I've been curious. I'm wondering because I've seen him actually do that joke lately, and it's
Who
too
is this?
similar.
Who is
It's too similar. I don't want to say who it is,
Yeah,
and
no,
I'm not.
over the recording.
I'm
You can
not
tell me
even.
later.
I'm not even shitting on him either. You know what I mean? He's actually a pretty good comic. He's funny, but it's like we could have had the same idea, but at the same time, it's like the idea that I had for that joke. I had people who came up to me as soon as like when I started doing it, and they were like, "Wow, I never thought about that take. That's actually
Yeah.
really creative. That's really funny."
Right.
And it's like that's like the kind of joke. I had someone tell me once, like that's like the kind of joke that every comedian wish he thought of before.
yeah.
And then they heard it and they're like, "Fuck, it
Yeah.
sucks. That joke is taken now." So I don't know. It's a possibility we've had the exact same ideas.
What was the joke again? Remind me.
Damn, I've done it for so long, but at the same time, it's like I haven't done it in a while because
Yeah.
of everything going on.
Right.
Um,
What was the essence of the joke?
I just criticized the Ninja Turtles wearing masks. Like, why do the Ninja Turtles wear
Oh,
masks?
okay.
There's no
Right.
reason for them to
Yeah.
wear masks. Like, what are they trying to
I
hide?
remember
Right.
that.
The fact that they're giant fucking turtles,
That's a
that's
good
the whole
bit.
thing. Yeah, like everyone knows who you are or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a longer. And I
Without the mess, they're just normal turtles.
yeah. And then I talk about like
People feed them.
then I talk about like the one guy who didn't know they were turtles the whole time.
Right.
Yeah, so I like
turtles.
yeah.
Well, the different colors are for stupid kids.
Oh no, it's not what I do, but I guess that's something.
The original comic had them all being the same color, and then like once they became
Really?
toys and action figures,
Didn't know this.
And the cartoon show, they were like, well, how do you differentiate the characters? We'll give them all different colors.
That's funny.
That's interesting.
I didn't know that.
Kids were stupid back then, I guess.
Obviously.
I mean, they are giant turtles. We can't really distinguish features that much. They don't have different color hair, so
It's not like we can make 4 individual looking turtles. We gotta just give them different colored masks.
all turtles look the same.
Do you want to draw 4 different turtles? No. Can't sit here all day.
The one thing that I tried to like, I never really put this in the joke either, but there's a place for it. Like if the guy that was tricked initially, he just thought they were teenage ninjas.
Like, wow, that's incredible.
Do you guys go to
They're
that?
turtles?
Yeah.
But then he finds out that they're turtles. He's like, oh, they're Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like, there's that's when the whole name comes in, you know? Like,
I thought you were just from the special ed class.
They look like brothers.
Yeah, they should be. They are brothers, right?
They're all.
Why don't they
brothers.
call them
Yeah.
That would be crazy if they all just randomly
Right.
met.
the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle brothers?
Isn't it
Like
weird
Mario
too
Brothers?
that like desert tortoises live in the sewer? Like
Are
shouldn't
they desert tortoises?
Well, they're not like the amphibious turtles with the big old flippers.
Yeah, that's true.
I thought that they were like
effective.
I thought they were like the bigger versions of the amphibious turtles.
they don't have flippers. They're like,
But
know-
but the other kinds of turtles don't have fists anyways. So like
they do. They kind of have like knuckles that they walk around on. The desert tortoises, yeah, like they're little like hands or like little paws or whatever. Look it up. Look it up.
Oh, you ever seen a turtle's penis?
Yes.
Dude, it's crazy.
Like,
it
impressively
gets
crazy?
No, it gets deployed.
Very
It's
slowly
like
though.
it's a weird thing where it gets shot out. Right? It's a weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's almost like God, I'm trying. It's weird to describe, isn't it? It's not like a regular like a penis that we would think of.
No,
on a mammal.
but it definitely has to be long enough to like get past the shell and everything on another turtle.
Yeah,
He's on top of.
Yeah.
it gets shot out almost.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like you
Like a
push.
very slow gun.
Yeah,
I've seen a turtle come.
Whoa.
come. And
Talking to the mic about that.
I've seen a turtle come.
Hey, during this part, just put like a sexy like backdrop music.
Very white.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Got it. Okay.
I'm sure that TMNT porn exists. I'm sure that
the
it
slash
exists.
fiction.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
For sure. And they all rail like, April O'Neil in different ways.
Yeah, I mean,
Master Splinter gets involved.
for sure.
Yeah.
I'm looking this up on my phone right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there has to be.
I guarantee you that's true.
It's just how much is there? That's
Send
really
that to
the
me
question.
Send me the link when you
I know that's true. Like I'm not even like doubting it.
I was recently reading some Star Trek slash fiction. Mhm.
Yeah, I'm sure that there's so much of it
There's
too.
definitely a
Yeah.
lot of Star Treks. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm sure it's pretty great too.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Data just pleasuring so many like hot yeomen and fucking entsmen.
Yeah.
Man.
I will apply the correct pressure to the clitoris.
Oh, he's like an expert
Oh, wow.
in so many different techniques.
I'm sure. He's studied
It's canon that
Klingon sex.
he's read the Karma Sutra.
Oh Jesus. Oh man.
So yeah. So we found.
Fuck yeah,
I
you
don't
need
know
to
what
read
I
some of that.
picture-
I don't know which turtles.
I found a
those are.
picture of Michelangelo,
And
fucking Raphael in the butthole.
They look like they're
So
enjoying
that's
it. too.
that's gay incest turtle porn.
Yeah, it's true.
That's pretty
If
woke.
they're brothers,
Pretty woke.
Pretty woke.
they're
Yeah.
definitely brothers.
You got to reach a
around.
certain level of
I mean-
porn to watch that video.
You knew this was around for
They fight
sure.
crime and they fight themselves in the butt. I'll take that out later. Just like they
No, leave
took
it in,
their,
Daryl. Leave
yeah.
it. We need a monument to your
Okay,
shame.
okay.
That's
Man,
Pull down the monument. Pull down the statue of Daryl's.
it's crazy
shames.
how
Pull it down.
bringing it back to racial injustice.
Yeah.
There's so much
weird
Black Lives Matter now on the Berlin Wall.
Yeah,
in
it's
different, like,
global.
areas.
It's
That's
global,
man.
Yeah.
That's
It's
wonderful.
amazing.
Going
We got to
crazy.
keep this energy going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's cool.
I'm really
Don't
hoping.
stop believing.
Are you gonna bring back Journey?
Don't white man this, Daryl.
know.
Don't do that.
just start playing Journey. Everybody's like, "Shut the fuck up, white man."
You know what?
Get
So,
outta here.
I'm gonna say something really fun, really quickly about that because there was like a parade or something, and like the original singer for Journey came out, and he tried to sing, and he sounded like shit, and it was so funny.
Jesus.
It was hilarious. They all thought he could still sing, but he was old, and he was like trying.
When was this?
He's like, "What's that?"
Right.
Like,
He's no Steve Perry.
no, he was Steve Perry. That's
Oh,
what
it
I'm
was
saying.
Steve.
It was the
Oh.
original singer who came out, and they were like, "Let's sing something for us, Steve," or whatever. I don't know what they
that's
were
why,
doing.
because he had cancer. He had throat cancer.
Yeah, so fuck him.
Because
No,
I
I'm just
saw
kidding.
him a couple of years ago, maybe
That's why
3
the
years
Asian
ago.
guy
He was good.
There was
Really?
an
Yeah.
Asian guy that stepped in.
Maybe it was the Asian guy.
Might have
Yeah.
been the
I'm
Asian
thinking
guy.
about.
The Asian guy is
'Cause-
great. He sounds like the original. Sorry, let's
Okay.
go back to what we were saying
Yeah.
here. I didn't mean to. I just thought it was funny when I saw him, and I was like, oh, he doesn't have it anymore. And like they all thought he still had it.
He had
you know,
throat
like-
cancer?
Here's the thing. Yeah, he did. He had cancer.
Fuck.
I don't know if the throat or it was like esophagus or
testicle.
esophageal. Yeah, he had testicles in his mouth. That's why he couldn't sing.
I don't know his conditions.
It's science. Ask a doctor, guys. I want to see bringing it back to Black Lives Matter and also the music. Some music. We need like another Heal the World or something like an all black anthem.
The Live Aid.
a Live Aid,
Live
you
Aid
know,
for black people.
for-
like we are the world, we are the children.
I
But
don't
like
know.
a new,
I love that
Thing is,
song.
a new urban like R&B, like with Beyonce, Kanye, you know, Kendrick, every
That's a
black
great
cool
song.
artist out
Yeah.
there,
That'd
just
be cool.
put out a music album or just one song, really.
Yeah. That's
Have they
get on it,
collaborated
Joe.
at some
Yeah,
point?
get on it, like
Has
Quincy
Kendrick-
Jones and fucking like DJ Khaled. Like, where is this?
Has Kendrick ever collaborated with Beyonce? I feel like he would have at some point.
I would
No, I don't
assume.
think he has, but I that would be a good
It'd be
pairing.
nice.
I love Kendrick. Kendrick's
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
he's
Kendrick.
a genius, man.
He's a-
Well, so is Beyonce.
Beyonce's great, but I think Beyonce's pop great. Kendrick is genius great, I think.
Yeah, I don't
his
know if
writing is
she's, like-
definitely-
Careful.
I don't
Just
know.
kidding.
No, I mean, I'm not gonna,
Yeah,
not
you're right.
insult
I
her.
don't know if she's known for her rapping skills.
No, she isn't. She's a pop star. And
Right.
She's a damn good one.
She rapped
but-
recently in
Oh.
in that Megan Thee Stallion remix of that Savage song.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. She did a
That's
pretty
dope.
good job, but it, she doesn't rap all the time, obviously.
Right.
She's
Yeah.
not a rapper. She's just she can rap. She's not a rapper, but she's
Right.
a great pop star, and I definitely give her credit for that. But she's
Obviously,
I think she's just
Jay
a
Z
pop star.
is one of the best.
Yeah, Jay-Z's he's one of the top best ever, I think.
Especially
as far as
producer
that.
too.
Yeah.
I mean, he knows how to definitely make her sing
the first rapping
or shine. I guess.
the first rapping billionaire ever. So that guy definitely deserves credit, and she does too. Like, definitely
It
don't
sounds
diminish
the
her.
way you said it sounded funny. It made it sound like it was a billionaire that just tried rapping. Like,
And then on that,
Jeff Bezos.
Jeff Bezos. It's like I did everything else. Why not? Like
I would love to hear Jeff Bezos rap.
Oh boy,
that'd be awful.
It'd all be about Amazon,
about Prime.
right? Like,
he'll release an album called Prime Time.
mhm.
Oh no.
You know what you can get in 2 days? My dope ass rhymes.
That's funny. No, Kendrick is a genius.
He
Fuck
is.
yeah.
He's
Oh
amazing.
man, there's sometimes I'm listening to him and he actually loves comedy. He's a huge comedy fan. That's
cool.
Yeah, most rappers are definitely.
Well, because of like the idea of language, I guess, because it's very similar comedy and rap.
It is.
Yeah,
They
how
have
do you
battles.
turn a phrase?
Yeah.
Isn't that cool? We both have battles, guys.
Yeah,
Comedians
yeah.
have battles.
Did you-
rappers have battles.
Did you guys hear about when that rapper Digits battled Madison Grace at the comedy store?
What?
What?
There's
Oh
a
my
rapper,
god!
he's had
no,
two
I
rap
know that.
battles.
I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
know he battled Madison, but
Yeah.
that's crazy.
And he was terrible. It was god awful.
Really?
You
not
mean like
even
roast battle
joke.
or rap battle?
No, a roast battle.
Oh, it'd be
it
crazy
was
if Madison did a
terrible.
rap battle.
Joe Urell roast battled him too. I would love to see Joe Urell. use a
Digits
rap
is
battle.
not that cool.
No, he's not. He's not very good.
No.
And she demolished him. She
Wow.
destroyed him. He was terrible. All he was doing the whole time was pacing back and forth on the stage. Yeah. We watched it at the Harp.
Not
we put it on the
good.
TV. Yeah, it was bad. And Madison is funny. So
She is funny.
she is funny.
Yeah.
But anyways, I don't remember what we got off topic.
I don't
somewhere.
either.
Okay,
Oh.
getting back to though that big ensemble rap song. All proceeds go to Black Lives Matter. So we gotta have at least like
Anderson .Paak, he should be in there too.
I love Anderson.
Anderson
.Paak.
.Paak's
He's
incredible.
He's got too
He's
many talents.
so multi-talented.
He's got too many talents.
He's like the Childish Gambino
Or-
of music.
Or the Jamie Foxx of
Does
music.
that even make sense?
I
just said that because Donald Glover does acting. He does everything.
No, I mean,
That's what I
he is a
like,
Renaissance man, but I
Yeah.
think like Jamie Foxx is always where I go because Jamie Foxx is a classically trained
He does
pianist.
that too.
So
and he
he's a
blames it on the
yeah.
alcohol.
Yeah, okay. He's an alcoholic. He's good at everything.
Yeah, he used to be Ray Charles, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's canon. He used to be
That's what
Ray
I'm saying.
Charles.
That's why he's so good at piano.
Yeah.
Because he was at one point Ray Charles.
And he cured his blindness with his amazing music.
It's such an inspiring story.
Got off heroin and cured his blindness. Jesus.
Ray Charles, that's a biopic, but it's also a biopic like of Jamie Foxx. That's who he used to be,
It's two personas.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm reborn as Jamie Foxx. James Foxx.
I remember reading a review about that movie, Ray, and somebody gave him shit because they were like, well, he's not as good as Ray Charles, the actual guy, because he had his eyes to see the piano.
Okay.
What?
Like, he really wasn't blind.
What an argument to make.
Like, he's not as good as the real dude.
Nobody's making that point. Nobody is.
See, if you really wanted to be good, you would have blinded me. Fucking idiot.
Why didn't they get a real blind actor to play him?
Oh, Jesus. I love that movie, by the way. That's a great movie. That's
Definitely.
No, it's great. I haven't seen it, but it's great. But
He also played...
Hey, Ray Charles hasn't seen it either.
that's
it. Podcast is over, man. He also played that... He also played that guy who played the cello, and he was he had dementia, or he had schizophrenia.
Oh,
he had schizophrenia.
Right. It was with
good,
Robert
though.
Downey Jr.
Yeah. That was really great. I think they ended up saving that guy's life, which was good. Because what if they just made the movie about him and then they just left him on the street?
No, he just goes and stabs two people with the cello.
They get the information about him, and they're like, all right, we'll be right back. They make the movie, and they come back, and he's dead. That's fucked up. They should have done it the other way around. They should have helped him first, and then made the movie.
We just wanted the movie.
Yeah.
We didn't want you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy. And now he's Jamie Foxx also.
Yeah. That's how what if we thought that's what happened with actors? Like, they were really that person for a little while. We didn't know that what acting was.
That guy murdered a lot of people. Are we going to arrest him?
I guess since he's an actor, it's okay. That was just his part. It's fine if he kills people during that part.
What are we going to do, stop him?
Yeah.
Actors do really kind of feel that way in a little way. Like, when they are on the street, like, people will be like, fuck you!
Yeah.
And you're like, dude, that was a character.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the problem with being pigeonholed. I mean, like people still see what's his name as Captain Kirk, William Shatner. Like, he'll never ever do better than William Shatner's.
Have you seen
Captain
him in
Kirk.
Boston Public?
Wait a second. Oh my god, this made me think of something.
What?
Because you know how in Roger Rabbit, you guys seen Roger Rabbit?
Yeah.
It's great. But think about what was happening in that world, in that reality, in that universe. Because you could watch Bugs Bunny on TV, and then you could see him in real fucking life.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's incredible.
It's like, how did that anvil feel, man?
Just
I don't know. Whatever it is. Like,
And people coexisting in the real world.
This is true magical realism. It's
Yeah.
what's happening.
that's exactly what it is. No other. I think a couple of the movies have done something like that, where it's like cartoons.
Cool
lived in-
World.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But that was like largely forgotten, wasn't it? Like,
And Song of the South, also forgotten.
Yeah.
well, that should have been.
Importantly, yeah,
That
that's
should
racist
definitely
as
be
fuck.
forgotten.
Mary
That's the
Poppins,
worst.
that was a little bit of
I gotta be
both.
honest. I didn't know. I don't want to talk about Song of the South, but I didn't know that's what happened in Song of the South.
Yeah.
If I'm being- I didn't
Black-
know.
black
No,
face.
no. He said that there were cartoons that lived in reality. That's
Oh
what,
yeah. Well, the guy walks through a
Yes.
cartoon, right?
Yes.
Basically, and he sees the crows, the
Mhm.
fucking racist crows that are clearly black people. That's so bad.
Well, that was the Dumbo Crows, yeah.
yeah,
Which is still on Disney Plus, guys, if you want to
Have you seen
check
The Crow?
out that. Mm-hmm. With Brandon Lee?
Yep.
Yeah.
He wasn't a cartoon.
No. Also not a real crow.
Nope.
Whoa.
Yeah, they got fake crows to play that part.
I don't like that representation, man.
Yeah, they should have gotten real crows. A murder of crows. Whoa, what if a murder of crows killed Brandon Lee?
Wait,
Oh, Brandon Lee. That's what's his name's son, isn't it? Bruce
Lee, and he
Yeah.
and he
Yeah.
died on set.
who's Bruce Lee?
I'm Bruce Lee.
Brandon Lee died on set of The Crow.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, okay.
insane. That's so crazy.
Did they finish the movie at least?
They did.
Oh yeah, because it exists. That's how we know.
You make a good point.
What if they got like a really like fat white guy to like play the rest of the parts? So they just like have the end of the movie's just this like out of shape white guy. Oh, guys,
Oh, Jesus.
I'm the Crow. Just give me,
They couldn't
But they
hire.
treat it like he's the exact same character.
just give me a minute.
Did you see?
I'm gonna bring you to justice after I finish this hoagie.
Did you
Sound
see?
like Batman.
Yeah, you do.
He did sound a little bit like Batman.
Did you see the remake of The Green Hornet with Seth Rogen?
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't seen that movie. And
Yeah.
10-year-old me loved it. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It could be very bad. It could be terrible. I've heard it's bad.
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
It's not good.
Okay, that's fair. That's
It's
fair.
not like the worst. It's not like, Fantastic Four bad or like.
Yeah. Avatar: The Last Airbender bad.
Mhm.
Which I on a side note, I've been rewatching that movie repeatedly because it's fascinatingly bad. Have either of you seen it? The Last Airbender?
I kind of don't
Oh,
want
yeah,
to.
the Shyamalan movie.
Yeah, it's
I know it's Shyamalan.
yeah, it's one of the worst movies I've ever
Shamalama
seen.
Ding Dong.
Yeah, and I know
Sure.
it's cool to hate on it now, but it's also like watching it, you can break down the moments where everything just fell apart.
Sure.
Like at one point, Zuko is fighting, and he thrusts into the air, and the guy falls backwards, but he doesn't make contact, and it's at the center of the screen. You can't look away from it. He just makes contact. The guy flies backwards.
Maybe it was in 3D originally, or
So what happened was they made the movie, and then they were like, let's add 3D on top of it.
awesome.
So
That's always a good thing.
Yeah, so the bending looks terrible, and then they didn't have time to edit all of the bending in. So there's spaces where they should be doing bending, and there's no bending. They're just moving, and you're like,
Dumb.
"What's going on?" And they
See?
just didn't have time to put it in.
There's two types of
Wow.
3D movies. There's a movie that was filmed, made for 3D, like Avatar,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then there's movies that are like 3D afterwards. Like,
Right.
oh, we'll just make
Right.
it 3D later.
yeah,
And that one, the latter, is always stupid.
always stupid.
Always
and you
dumb.
can always tell. you
Yes.
can always tell. It makes me so sad because that's such a Avatar is I think one of the greatest top 10 shows of all
Of
time.
course.
And it's just
Avatar
ruined.
2 supposedly coming out soon still.
There's supposed to be 5 of them. apparently.
Wow.
5 Sorry, totally. We jumped topics. We were talking about the last Airbender. Now we're talking about James Cameron's Avatar.
Ah, that's right.
Yeah.
I
There's
do remember
two
they were supposed to come out with
different
another one.
avatars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They I just remember them playing basketball. Do you remember that scene
Yeah.
in the Avatar movie
So-
where like he walks outside and they have like a giant basketball court? It's like 10-foot tall, like blue people
Yeah.
shooting hoops.
They're so
Yeah.
casual.
Yeah. It's like, ugh.
That's Avatar 2 Space Jam.
Still with
right,
Michael
that's
Jordan.
right.
Still with
Are
MJ.
you guys excited for Space Jam 2 or no?
Yeah.
Is that actually a thing?
Yeah.
It's gonna be a
I never
thing.
saw
LeBron.
Space Jams 1.
You gotta
so.
see Space Jam 1.
Yeah, it was kind of after my
That's
time.
Yeah.
I wasn't born until 96.
Daryl and our generation
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was 94.
loved that movie.
Fuck yeah. It
We
was
like
dope.
we'll watch it like there's so much nostalgia tied to it.
Yeah.
That like probably Daryl and I are gonna see it for sure, right?
Oh,
Like,
yeah. I'll see
like,
it for sure.
You know what? This is the generational gap because the big basketball movie when I was a kid was Like Mike. That was
Oh,
a huge.
right.
I was
Yeah.
that
Sure?
was yeah.
With
like,
Lil
I don't
Bow
hear
Wow.
anybody talk about that now.
that was a big movie for my generation.
All
It
right.
didn't carry on as far as Space Jams,
Mm-hmm.
but when I was a kid, everybody was going to see Like Mike because just
yes.
Michael Jordan with the basketball and Little Romeo was at the peak of his.
Oh, it's Lil Romeo. I thought it was Lil Bow Wow.
It might be Little Bow Wow. Honestly, I get them.
It was one of the Lils.
the Little Romeo or Little Bow
Some
Wow.
Lil.
So he was huge at the time.
Yes.
So everybody went.
Well,
to go
he
see
was
that
Lil.
movie. Yeah, he was.
You know, it's they have
Why do you do this?
some. I get things mixed up sometimes. There's a rapper called DaBaby
Yes.
who
that
actually
true?
I like DaBaby.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's good.
he's good. But there's another rapper called Lil Baby.
Yeah.
and their contemporaries.
Yeah, Lil
Came
and
out
Duh.
around the same
Lil and
time.
Duh. Yep,
Like
yep.
that's so confusing.
Parallel
What are you
thinking.
doing?
Who
Yeah,
came up
like
with it first.
And eventually you won't be a baby.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. All right.
Um,
Little adults. Little.
Mhm.
Doesn't
Well,
have the
maybe you'll
same
just be
weight.
average baby or, old baby.
Middle-aged baby.
Big
Yeah.
Daddy. There was a rapper called Big Daddy Kane in the 90s.
Big
He still
Daddy
exists.
Baby,
He
yeah.
still
Yeah.
exists.
He still exists. That's
Mhm.
true.
Yeah.
Or-
I don't know if he goes by Big Daddy Kane anymore, but I know he.
No,
always
They
It's
don't,
like
they
how
don't
about
have a whole lot of bigs anymore.
like-
it's mostly Lils now.
not a
You
baby
know? Yeah.
or
Good
no
thing to know.
no more baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lil Yachty. Have you guys heard Lil Yachty? He used to go by Lil Boat.
Ah.
Then he changed his.
Shut up.
No, I'm serious.
That
I
sounds
fucking-
like a joke.
No, I know, but it's serious. Look, if you look up his name,
Yep.
he also used to go by Lil Boat.
Now it's going to be Little Schooner.
Is that
And
true?
then it's going to be Little
No,
Skiff.
you see,
I
now
don't
he is
know.
making a joke.
Okay, I don't know when the jokes end anymore.
Well, that's because that was real, and it's hard since something like that is already real. Like
Little Black Pearl.
Little
It's going to be all the different ships.
Oh man, the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Has anybody seen a Pirates of the Caribbean movie?
I like the first and second one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were
those were
fun.
great.
They were great.
I
yeah.
also I enjoyed. 10-year-old me enjoyed the third one.
How many
but after
are
that-
there?
There's like 5. I
Holy
think.
shit.
And they're still making more.
They better stop.
They
Jesus
should.
Christ, they should have stopped after one.
The first one is a classic. It's
Yeah.
great. First and second one are classic.
I still like the second one too.
yeah,
Yeah.
the second one is great.
I saw the first one at Disneyland.
Wow.
Really?
That's cool.
Yeah, they had a screening at Tom Sawyer's Island. They put up a big movie screen across the river or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you sat where all the phantasmic people sit. You guys ever been to Disneyland?
Yeah.
I've
we
been to
know- I know what
Disneyland.
you're talking about.
Okay.
But I haven't
I
been
mean,
there
I-
for like 10 years.
I mean,
think
me. I
maybe
mean,
more.
I worked at Disneyland, so I
all right.
obviously just was there
Yeah.
forever for a while. But
Yeah.
but yeah, and then they had this whole live action little stage performance before the movie where they had all these pirates walk from the ride to the screen, and they did
Right.
a big sword fight bullshit thing.
Yeah.
And
That's cool.
Johnny Depp was there,
One time.
scarves and all.
Really?
I went-
Yeah.
Wow.
One time I went with my sister to see the Peter Pan show,
Yeah.
and Peter Pan fell off the boat, so they had
Oh,
to cancel the show.
Phantasmic.
Oh
Yes.
my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
it got
happens
really-
a lot. We're gonna need another Peter Pan.
Yeah, basically. That's always. I've never seen it. I never saw
Mm-hmm.
it after that. It always traumatized me. I was like, "Is it gonna fall off again?" I don't know. When?
There's a lot of guys that have fallen off the boat on that show.
Really? They
Mm-hmm.
should probably make some precautions.
They do, but I hate to say it. Not everyone is. I mean, they play pirates, in character and in real life. They drink a lot of rum.
Oh, okay. I was like, do they steal things?
Yes, they rape, pillage, they do all of it.
I never understood. I always thought that was weird. But what's weird is I always bought into it too. I always bought into the idea oh, pirates are cool. This is fun, But
Yeah.
that's what they were. They
Yeah.
they raped and they pillaged and they
we
stole.
whitewashed
Yeah.
them so much.
Yeah,
they were
like,
really rapey.
it's pretty bad. Yeah,
Well, if you look at the pirate ride now, it's pretty whitewashed. They changed all of the rape and pillage.
Which is probably good. I mean, I don't know. I think it's a
they
good
used
thing.
to have rape and pillage in there. They
Yeah.
used to have raping and pillaging.
They used to have this one scene where the pirates were chasing the women,
Oh,
Yeah.
I do remember
Yeah,
that.
and then they took that
Yeah.
part out, and now it's they're just chasing chickens or
Like a
whatever.
dog or something.
Pirate,
something.
dude,
Yeah.
pirate.
Some animal.
You know what that means, though? That just means pirates are going to be canceled at some point.
Yeah.
That's
Which, I mean, we
That
probably
whole
should.
ride.
yeah.
Like,
Should cancel pirates.
I mean,
Yep.
it's like it's not the same thing, but it's like whitewashing a plantation owner. Like
Yep.
these are not good people when we shouldn't depict them like that. And
Yep.
whitewashing of plantation owners happens all the fucking time.
Oh yeah.
I watched a video once of this this black documentary crew, and they went to a plantation that now serves as a reenactment. And obviously there were no black people because all the black people would be slaves. And they asked them, they're like, so I see you have no black people working here. And they're like, what do you want us to say, dude? And they were like, what about the conditions? Can you talk about that? And their basic idea is like, well, like slaves liked it because they were happy. They were fed. They were fed and they were cared for like equipment.
What state was this?
I don't know. Probably Alabama.
They were singing songs. Can't you hear the recordings?
Yeah.
Made by white guys.
They were singing songs because that was the only joy they had. Like it wasn't.
Yeah,
true. That's true.
Yeah.
Hey,
sucks.
I just thought of something. Like when you tell us about black culture or any type of like black history, is that black-splaining?
Maybe, but there's also no black people here. So.
Oh right, yeah. Don't black-splain to African Americans.
Yeah, that's.
In fact, actually, people should probably have more black-splaining done to them.
We're being honest about the system in which we're complicit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're doing.
And the thing is that we need to be having these conversations not just when black people are around, but when it's like just white people.
Exactly.
Because as non-black people, we're more implicit in the system.
Yeah.
As the color spectrum fades to closer and closer to white, I think. Or maybe not, but that's what I think.
No, yeah, you're right. No, it's true. That's the thing. Is that I think it's so unconscious that we're so content with the world that we live in that we don't even think about how it got this way. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah,
you're right.
I just thought, the people who should be shitting their pants the most is albinos.
Oh.
I mean, they're like the ultimate white.
But it's not. Like...
You know what I was thinking about the other day? I was thinking about like, okay, so what if you're black, but you're born an albino?
I've seen that.
So what?
There was a guy that was an albino black man in my high school.
That's a hard dynamic to follow because you're black for all intents and purposes.
He hung out with all the black guys too.
Yeah, and they should accept him as their own, right? Because he is technically culturally black. It's just that his skin isn't. I don't know.
He had like blonde hair. But it was definitely like kind of like an afro. But then he also had like all the like black features, but had white skin.
That's interesting.
It was crazy. His name was Jamal. I'm sure his name is still Jamal.
That's cool. His name isn't, and his name isn't like Tony or something.
No,
super white.
No, his name is Daryl Williams.
This story is about myself. I am an albino black person.
Guys, can't you tell?
On a side note, let's pause real quick. How far are we in?
An hour 15.
We should probably start wrapping up soon.
We'll wrap it up.
All right.
This is a good conversation.
It was
a
fun.
lot of different.
And we jumped in and out of different
things
that were relevant.
Yeah,
so that's good.
Conversation didn't get stale, so that's good.
Wrap it up, guys.
Okay. Well, let's work into it so we're not. That wasn't the last thing we talked about.
What were we talking about last?
I don't know.
Albinos.
Oh yeah. All right. Well,
I don't know.
We can talk about something else.
Boy.
Well,
I don't know.
I mean,
the world is crazy right now.
The world's insane right now. Yeah, we wanted to take a step back just to make sure that we were acknowledging, just the historic events that have been occurring.
Yeah.
And how the place that we all have in it, and we just want to make sure that we acknowledge it and
I think as
validate it.
I think as non-black people, like we touched on earlier, it's kind of our job to talk about it more so and constantly check ourselves with racism. Yeah. Neil Brennan posted a really cool video that I like.
He's so I
he's
love
so
him.
Brilliant. He posted a video about how we're all racist, we're all sexist, we're all transphobic, so we have to constantly be working towards making ourselves less that. But it never ends. We just have to constantly be working towards that. Mm-hmm. He's kind of like the ambassador between white and black America.
Basically.
Because he's friends with Dave Chappelle?
Well, he's friends with a lot of black people, though.
He's in the black comedy
community. Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, he's not black, but
he's like, I know Eddie Murphy. It's cool, guys.
Well, speaking of Eddie Murphy, remember, you probably heard that same video where he was at Eddie Murphy's house?
Yeah. Well, he hangs out
Tiffany
with him.
Haddish. Yeah.
Yeah, he was at Eddie Murphy's house, and Eddie Murphy was watching his TV, and he was sitting down with Eddie Murphy. I think he might have been with Chappelle, too. I don't remember who else he was with. But Eddie Murphy was just watching like a documentary about this racist dude in history who did like His name is Al Jolson. You know that guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like
the guy that did blackface.
He did blackface.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes,
he was,
yes.
and it was awful. And Eddie Murphy just saw it on his TV, and he was just like, "Why is this on my TV?"
Yeah.
You know, like because he's in his house,
Yeah.
in his mansion, everything that he built and works for, and he has to exist in this world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's
I mean, yeah. Blackface is. It's crazy. You know, there's a place, I don't remember in what country, but it's in one of the Swedish countries. There's a village that hosts a blackface festival. So they do blackface. They have a character in their mythology, something like Thomas the Black or something, and they all dress up as blackface, and they don't see it as a bad thing because it's their culture, and they've been doing it for all these years. But people have been trying to tell them, stop this, like you shouldn't be doing blackface, and they're like, it's our culture. So the issue is very like deep within our culture, I think, you know, and it's not going to change overnight. People expect, you know, radical change, and it's all slowly and through institutions, and you know, through the system.
Yeah, just gotta keep making sure that we are, you know, being vocal about the unrest that we have as a nation currently, and hoping that it, you know, there's something that comes out of it. There already are things that are coming out of it. I think they're banning chokeholds in Minneapolis. I think they're doing, which is good.
Great.
There's different things, but let's just hope a conviction occurs.
Yeah,
this motherfucker goes to jail.
If that guy doesn't go to jail,
like,
people are gonna freak.
That's what I'm saying. You better get convicted, man.
Yeah. And then they better convict him, but they also better do something to the other three guys.
Exactly.
Because that's like, I know it's more difficult because they didn't actively do anything, but if they don't at least get put in jail to some extent, people are going to go fucking crazy.
And obviously,
I mean, you can get manslaughter charges at least.
Yeah,
that's true.
And obviously, hopefully this isn't performative. Hopefully this isn't something that they do just to satiate the public, and hopefully it's something that starts systemic change, and we can get the killers of Ahmaud Arbery in jail. We can get the killers of Breonna Taylor in jail, and we can, you know, start solving some of the societal ills that we have.
Working towards a better collective. I mean, you know, in our community, some of the greatest comics that have ever existed are black, and they've made incredible contributions to our art form. Not that necessarily comments on their worth, but you know, we all have to be kind of checking and realizing our privilege, I guess. Sorry, I'm talking quieter and quieter.
It's like lower and lower as it's continuing. Yeah, I mean, with that in mind, yeah, so we didn't want to just come out with a regular episode today, guys. we thought we should really touch base with this with you guys to make sure, you know,
keep donating, keep participating in whatever way you can. There's no one right way to protest, I think. If you can't make it to a physical protest, which I know like you couldn't, Andrew, but they're still participating. You're still sharing.
That's the thing. They're not over. I have my car back.
Right. You're
I'm going to be out there for sure.
But even then, that's not the only way to protest. Like you can send money, you can send petitions.
Exactly. No, I've been doing petitions.
Definitely.
I've been doing petitions, and I can start sending money again soon after all the crap that I went through. I had to spend a lot of fucking money on that thing. Yeah, but
I mean, I don't know. We kind of touched on everything.
We're done.
Everything.
Yeah, all right. I think we're good.
All right, everybody.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, please send help for the nation.
Please send help for exactly. You said it for the world.
For the world, for everybody, please.
For the nation.
For everybody.
For race relations, for everything. Yeah, it's trying times right now. Well, thank you guys
thank you
so
guys
much
for listening. All right,
bye.